Greetings, wise ones. This is Melissa of 8th House Wisdom, author, psychotherapist, astrologer, feminine energy and stellar planning expert. I am here with the video for the Aries Hunter's Full Moon for 2022, where the energy is really going to help us be transformed by fiery shadows. If you'd like to learn more about how to use the power of the Aries full moon and more about the astro weather impacting it, stay tuned for the rest of the video. Now, as I am recording this video, I'm in a space of sheer delight because I'm an astrologer trained in a number of different schools of thought. First up being Hellenistic, or what Westerners would know as Greek astrology, like arts and letters and liberal arts. We are currently under that tradition experiencing what we call a void of course moon, leading up to this amazing Aries full moon. A void of course moon is when the moon is making no aspects to anything in the sky. It means it's not trining or opposing. It is not touching and creating a geometric shape with any of the other planets in the known sky. We began that phase on Tuesday at about 6:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And that aspect will not end until October 7th at 10:40 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which means in addition to us already being in the post-shadow phase of Mercury retrograde, where we're working through integrating the insights and the mishaps or problems or concerns that were going to come up for us, delays around communication and the like during Mercury retrograde. We also have yet another planet or luminary. We'll refer to the moon as a planet, but it's a luminary, making a similar journey where it reinforces the idea that this is a time to chill and really think about what you want, to gather your energy for a strong burst of activity after 10:40 p.m. on the 7th through to 4:44 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on October 9th, when the moon goes full in Aries. That gives us a period of time from the 7th, late on the 7th through the 10th, to solidify our thoughts and to take manifesting action while the moon is moving in to fullness. After it goes full, we want to be releasing our thoughts and energy and allowing the light and the cycle to do the work for us. If you want to make sure that you are able to get the best out of this last quarter of the year, The Aries full moon is a good one for you to focus on because it's the beginning of our descent into fall and into the shadow and fallow season. Throughout the spring and the summer, our energy is outwardly focused, and we can really focus on how we shine as the sun's energy is dominant, giving us light and giving us heat. But now we are shifting into fall, and where I am at here in the nation's capital, DC, this week snapped cold and rainy, and it was like, okay, fall is here, which has not been the case over the past 4 to 5 years, where it still ends up feeling somewhat like summer into late October. Because we have had such a proper announcement of the fall season, it has really helped me to refocus on the fact that still being in the prime of retrograde season, Mercury just went direct, the moon is void, of course, and this Aries full moon is a restart of the zodiac, because Aries is the first sign. In the lunar section, it's letting me know that this is really a time, since we have made it through to an Aries full moon, for me to turn my energy inward and to focus on the current opposing balance of Aries is, what do I want? What does the me want on an emotional level? In respect to what does the collective want? What do the relationships in my life, be them romantic, business, or familial, what do they want in life? And how do I balance them both? That is going to be something interesting to take in, especially since, in addition to all of the astro weather I just talked about, on Saturday, October 8th, Pluto will be going direct, and it's been in retrograde since April 29th. So we're going to be coming out of some really deep and transformative insights. Hence me talking about transforming through the fiery shadows. Pluto and Aries energy together, because Aries energy is Martian and Pluto is Transformer, and Aries / Mars, they're the god of war. We're going to have a lot of kind of blow your socks off, potential fireworks, sparkly kind of things show up in our life. And the full moon, the light of the full moon, is going to be part of that revelation. This is going to be the prelude as Pluto's movement is going to be like waking up a sleeping volcano. And it's going to start with the spewing of lava in the days that lead up, the final days of this cardinal lunar cycle, and in the days leading up to eclipse season taking over, which will be ruled by Pluto and Martian energies, because we will be having Scorpio and Taurus eclipses. Please make sure to note that on the 9th, when the moon goes full, you may see a project that you have been working on for the past 6 months come into culmination. Please make sure to celebrate yourself, because it has probably been a struggle. You need to give yourself lots of fanfare and celebration, because that's what Aries does. And if you don't have an Aries friend, make sure you get one, because they are the best pump up squad you ever had. And if you don't have one, then be that for yourself. 2022 has been a year of integration, and after coming out of the 2 years that we had prior, we really need to make sure we have an attitude of gratitude and that we are intentional about celebrating all of the positive things that we do, no matter how small. That can help us to do this transformational work. And it also helps us when it comes to addressing aspects of the shadow and our shadow self. In particular, about the Aries full moon, Aries archetype is the warrior. Remember, the first house lunation is about the self, the outward appearance, and the body as a resonance chamber. The motto of Aries is I am. This is the time of social and relationship harvest. You need to use your body sensations as a guide. Recognize that emotionally you're probably going to feel creative and want to start something or take initiative. Again, with all the energy we have going on in the sky, changes are going to abound, and this full moon energy is one that's going to focus on the solitary, because we're in the Aries energy, even though we're in Libra season. So while we may have been out and about having a really good time being our Libra selves, social butterflies, seeing people and doing things, this full moon, with its potent energy and power and just the emotional kind of ground that we're going to cover, it might be good to go inside and do some self-care, just so you don't Hulk smash and explode on someone due to lack of emotional control. Again, this is also a really good time to focus on that shadow and internal work as the first full moon, and because we've got all of that additional retrograde energy, which is also internally focused, reinforcing these ideas. If you're an Aries or Libra sun, moon, or rising, you're definitely going to be deeply impacted by this, with the full moons now starting in the first house and going around the zodiac. If you'd like to know more about aspects of the lunar wisdom formula in particular, so that you can see how the hunter's Aries full moon will impact your chart, what area will be lit up, and where things will work best for you, please head over to my blog and you can see it there. For me, as a Gemini rising, this is going to be impacting, Aries will be impacting my 11th house of friends, great games, community, and the like. Which means I have the potential to make great gains, to increase things in my community, and to reconnect with friends and loved ones from all different walks of life. Check out what house is being activated for you. Planets are in that house to learn more and apply the lunar wisdom formula in greater depth. The last thing that I just want to focus on is the fact that because we were in that void of course moon, it really brought up aspects of the shadow even further for me. And I know that most of us have been taught to fear the shadow and the dark, but I want to remind you that feminine energy is actually negative or dark energy or shadow energy. And feminine energy is the power of all creation. So we really need to learn how not to fear it, but embrace it. Darkness is not something to run from. It's a reason to go inward instead of going outward. It's a reason to feel our way through things instead of thinking our way through things. And this Aries full moon is going to give us great insight into us, and it's going to help us stay focused much more on self and who we are, so we don't get caught up in all kinds of other things and maybe lost in the dialogue. Which means we've got a great opportunity right now to do shadow work. Shadow work it comes from Carl Jung and Jungian psychology. As a psychotherapist, it is something that I deeply appreciate. As a Scorpio, I appreciate it even more. And this practice, 8th house wisdom, which represents the house of Scorpio, is about assisting people in doing the shadow work, the behind the scenes work, the stuff that isn't glamorous and goes on Instagram, nonetheless transformed your way of being. If we can shift our relationship to how we see the shadows, then we can really catalyze the power that comes with becoming as intimate with our internal or shadow self as we are with our external or personal or public persona. Jung believed that the collective unconscious, what everybody thinks on the planet, that has a direct impact on the shadow sense. So what is going on in society right now, the national and international trends, they have a direct impact on the shadow work that we end up doing. Things like racism and systemic problems could all be coming up for us right now, because that's what's in the collective across our global economy right now. This is why we are being called to do shadow work, even if it makes you feel uneasy or frightened. Exploring the shadow gives you mastery over self, and when you have mastery over self, you can be like the old school toys. Weebles wobble, but they don't fall down. Winds will blow, but you will be able to remain anchored, grounded, and come out on top. Additionally, when you do shadow work, you shine brighter because you cut off the places where you would dim your shine out of fear of offending or impacting people. Some of the really important ways that you can do shadow work are through dream analysis, definitely engaging in psychotherapy, which I highly recommend people do, and/or coaching, journaling, and one of my favorite loves, sand tray therapy, because I am trained as a play therapist. And using symbols and miniatures and figurines and the symbolic in a medium like sand really allows us to represent our inner world without words. That's the shadow self. Some other beginner tips to really think about doing shadow work is to remember to move slowly. Know that this can be upsetting and difficult to do. As always, practice self-care and compassion, because feelings are going to come up and you're going to need a place to put them. And to approach your shadow self, not with condemnation, but with a spirit of love, curiosity, and acceptance. Hopefully, you can utilize some of these principles to check your own self out under the light of this me-focused full moon. It's kind of taking a look under the hood. And here are a few prompts that I wanted to offer to help you do that. For the Aries full moon, what have you been creating for yourself this year? What passions have you pursued in spite of any barriers and restrictions? How have you been focusing on what lights you up or fires you up and makes you feel alive and motivated? And last but not least, how are you balancing your need for autonomy with the reality for our desire to be in connection and in relationship? I hope that you've been able to get something really useful from this information about the Aries full moon. There was a lot of astral weather going on, so a lot to unpack. And as we start this new zodiac cycle of full moons, I really wanted us to be prepared. In order for you to best do that, first things first, make sure you have a copy of your birth chart. If you don't, click the link in the description below. Head over to my website and grab a free copy of your birth chart so you know where all the signs are in your chart and can identify what houses are going to be impacted by this Aries full moon and any other pieces of information that I shared. And if you want to take that further, then I would love for you to check out my do-it-yourself moon gazing and moon manifestation guide, the Lunar Wisdom Formula, where I have all the important dates set up for you, and it takes you through the process of learning and understanding how to work in 2-week and 6-month cycles with the new and full moons throughout the year and beyond. And if you'd like a really high touch program with more support and access to a professional astrologer, then please join me in my monthly lunar membership, Lunate, where we have curated resources, a workbook, videos, and other things to support you in watching the moon, following her wisdom, and integrating it deeply into your life for your highest potential. A great way to add on to our lunar practice, and a good thing to do in anticipation of the full moon, is to charge any crystals that we have. I love crystals because they represent the earth. If you would like to get some high quality, ethically sourced crystals, head over to the website in the description below and make sure that you use this code, 8th House Wisdom, for an 11% discount on any of the offerings that they have. If you would like to know more about what area of your chart will be activated based on sun sign or rising sign, you want to get a bit more information about those journal prompts to start doing your own shadow work or capture any of these dates, make sure to head over to my blog, link in description below, to read the full post on the Aries full moon. And I want to make sure that everybody really takes time out to focus on me unapologetically this weekend. That's what Aries energy is about, and that's what this full moon will demand. Remember, wise ones, life does come with an instruction manual. It is written in the stars. I hope I've given you a good download for the next 2 weeks and beyond. If you like the content here, please make sure that you like this video, comment, and definitely subscribe to my channel. Until the next time I'm back with a video, I send each and one of you lots of light and love and your highest manifestations for this Aries full moon 2022. Blessed be, wise ones.